In this video, I want to talk about my experience with Cloudways and SiteGround's cloud hosting. So, I was using SiteGround's cloud hosting, and you can actually do a quick comparison, which I recommend you doing. On their entry-level plan, you get 2 CPU and 4 gigabytes of memory for $80 a month. When on Cloudways, you get the same thing for $42 a month. So, why would you go to SiteGround when you can get the same thing for $42 a month? Next, I was using an upgraded version of SiteGround's cloud hosting. I was paying them $140 a month for 4 CPU and 8 gigabytes of memory. I migrated to Cloudways DigitalOcean plan, and for the same thing, I was only paying $80 a month. So that instantly saved me $60 a month. And when I migrated it, you can see my response times dropped in about half. So not only was I saving $60 a month, but I was getting faster load times. It's really obvious which one you should do. I love SiteGround for their shared hosting, but like a lot of people, I was getting CPU overages, and I upgraded to the entry-level version of their cloud hosting and was still getting CPU overages. And they actually shut down my website, which I was pretty pissed about because I am a super affiliate for SiteGround. And I was like, okay, I'm paying you all this money, I refer you all these customers, and you're still shutting down my website. Like, it's a little ridiculous. So I was paying them about $140 a month for 2 years for this cloud hosting. And I always thought, yeah, I'm paying them like a little much for what it is. And I saw really good reviews about Cloudways and the DigitalOcean plan, so that's why I decided to give it a whirl. And like I said, I saved money and my response times dropped in about half, and it was really easy to set up. So when you go to Cloudways, you basically pick from 5 cloud hosting providers, set up your server, pick how many server resources you want, as well as your data centers. Once you set it up, you can actually request a free migration from Cloudways, and they were super helpful. It wasn't as easy as SiteGround. SiteGround basically just did it. Cloudways, I had to set up a local server to test my website on before it launched, and I had to transfer my SSL myself. But other than that, they were very helpful, and they did everything else besides those 2 little things you had to do. Test your server to make sure there's no errors on your website before launching. And then in my case, I had to transfer my SSL. I think they actually helped me with that, but I had to do a few things myself. But it was pretty easy to set up, and I actually reached out to the Cloudways community manager, Mustasam, I hope I pronounced his name right, but he was super helpful in answering questions, and, you know, I also used CDNs, and he answered questions about that. So if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to him. I'll leave a link to his Facebook profile in the video description. But they also email you your ticket when they respond. So tickets were answered in about 1 hour on average when I was migrating to Cloudways, which is fine. If you do migrate to Cloudways, there are a few optimizations you can do. I actually saw a video on Facebook from a Cloudways employee talking about a few things you can do to make your website load even faster on Cloudways. And that is to make sure you're upgrading your memory limit to 256 megabytes. And then in packages, make sure you're using PHP 7.3 and MariaDB 10.3. And under Managed Services, make sure you're taking advantage of all these features. Like in my case, I had to install Redis. It was just clicking one button. But that made my website load much faster. So you can even click through my pages and see how fast they load, but they already loaded on very fast on SiteGround, but even faster on Cloudways. Like, they are instant. And granted, my tutorials, some of them have like 418 comments. And that was the biggest difference I saw when migrating to Cloudways. My homepage is very, small, doesn't have a lot of content, and it loaded fast on both SiteGround and Cloudways, but my tutorials that had really, really long and tons of comments, those are the ones that took like 12 seconds to load on SiteGround's cloud hosting. So I'm just going to show you a quick comparison test. I think this page loaded about 12 seconds on SiteGround. 3.8 seconds. That is ridiculous for how many images I use and for how long this post is. For it to load in 3.8 seconds is ridiculous. That was the main part I was happy about with Cloudways, is that my homepage already loaded it really fast and I had 100% GT metrics reports, but my tutorials with tons of stuff on them, wow, 3.8 seconds. So Cloudways does have pretty good reviews on Trustpilot. The only complaint is that their support isn't as good as SiteGround. A lot of people complain about their chatbot and how you have to go through a chatbot first to get a hold of somebody. But for pure performance, Cloudways is definitely the way to go, and for the price, really. So SiteGround, they're really mainly for shared hosting. But like I said, once you outgrow their Go Geek plan and you might get CPU overages, then it's definitely time to move to Cloudways. Or even if your renewal prices are coming up and you're paying $35 a month for SiteGround's Go Geek plan, then you're probably going to be better off at Cloudways. So what I like to do for the smaller websites is buy 3 years of SiteGround's shared hosting, if it can support it. And then hopefully as traffic grows and everything, once you outgrow that plan and start getting like CPU overages, then that's when it's time to move to Cloudways. But between the two, I would definitely go with Cloudways, especially their DigitalOcean plan, because it's just cheaper than SiteGround, and as you can see, it's even faster. So there's really no reason you shouldn't be using Cloudways. It just makes sense. So I hope this little comparison video was helpful. I do have links to Cloudways and SiteGround in the video description. They are affiliate links if you wouldn't mind supporting my videos, but I would definitely go with Cloudways. I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch you next time.